My name's Kurt, and today we're going to go ahead and demonstrate how to do rsync between a Synology 1522 Plus, this here pictured here and what's in the background, and a Hewlett-Packard Mini PC. All right, so this is going to rsync. This is going to be sending data over to here. So we're going to use rsync, so it's going to be command line. Now for the Hewlett-Packard here, you want to see what the device is. I bought this used. You can see here it's a Elite Desk 800 G3, 35 watts, right? It's an i5 core. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 256 gigabyte hard drive on here. A third-party command that I use down in the description will be a link to my GitHub where you'll get all the bash script I'm going to use, and you can scour the GitHub to find this command here and all that, and what package to download and install on your Ubuntu device. In this case here, this is actually what we're going to be running the rsync on and the cron job on. So with that, let's go ahead and get started here. All right, let's move this out of the way. Remove this out of the way, and we'll get rid of this. So the first thing you want to do, you always want to have a separate user. For this, you're going to enable SSH on your Synology. Of course, make sure when you install your Linux, in this case your Ubuntu, you select OpenSH already. So on the Synology, you want to confirm a couple things. So let's go ahead and go to the control panel. All right, you want to go to terminal and SNMP, and then you want to enable SSH. And it's always a good thing to put it on a different port instead of 22, but you don't have to. You can keep it on the standard port 22, which is okay, especially if you don't expose your system. I don't expose my system, but it doesn't mean anything. Then you want to go to your file and services. You want to make sure rsync is enabled and on the same port as your SSH you put on. So if it's port 22, you leave it blank, and the same thing when you enable SSH here. You don't need to put anything in there. And then the next thing is you have to make sure that the volume drive is there. So you go to your user and group, and then you hit the magic advance, and then you scroll down, and then you want to select your volume. In this case, I only have one volume. So you only got one before it was set, whatever it was blank or had something else in it. So just select whatever volume you want your data to go to. In this case, this is the volume I did. You hit the magic apply, and everything will be set up. Then the next thing is you need to go on to your server. All right, let's do a clear. Get this out of the way. Now let's go ahead and SSH in first. All right, so since we already set up a user account, there's plenty of videos out there showing how to set up a user on the Synology and a user on the Ubuntu here, so I won't go through that right now. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to type the magic word SSH and then -P for port, and then we're going to do the 4/8, and then we're going to do the user that we want to put the data underneath. We put in the IP address. I think it's this. Then you see warning, put in your whatever password you use. It's going to fail here. There we go. Make sure you put in the right password. And there we are. PWD. Here's your directory path, right? Doing ls-l, and then you can see we have zip buckets in this system here. So we know that. So now we're just going to hit the magic exit key. And then what we want to do next is we want to generate SSH keys, because when you do rsync, you don't want to, if it's going to prompt for the password, rsync's going to fail. So you want to be able to just do SSH, username at SSH, and just log in right away. So one of the best ways to do that is doing SSH keys. So again, go down in the description. There'll be a link to where you can get all these commands that I'm going to use. So then we're going to go and type in this command, right, which is SSH key -trc bit whatever, and then it's gonna stick it in a drive, a hidden directory. Supposedly that's what the dot in front means. So when you can list out, you're not going to see it, but there's a way to see all that stuff. So we're going to hit exit. And now for the phrase, just leave it empty. All right, and then basically what you can do is you can hit enter twice, which I just did, make some bullshit stuff here. Now you do ls, right? You see, you still can't see the SSH directory. So to see it, you do an ls-al for all and list. There's the SSH. We go into that. Oh, right, and there we have our authorized keys. So this stuff was just created doing that key gen command. So the next thing is what we want to do is we want to copy these keys over to the Synology DS. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do SSH, right? COP, hit the tab key, autofills, P, because we do it on a port. If you're not using a port, using the standard 22, you don't have to worry about doing the -P. And then also the port number that you want to put it on, right? And then whatever the username you create, in my case, is call-R, right? And we're going to hit the @ sign, then we're going to hit the magic IP address. Oh, it's not 26, it's 6. And then hopefully this will work, right? So what we're do is going to copy the keys over. With that, now you have to put your password in one time because we have to copy it over. So whatever the password for the DS command line is, that's what you're going to put back in. And then we're going to hit enter, and hopefully this will work. And did it work? Well, one way to find out is to go back up. All right. Use this command again. Right, again, since I'm using it on a different port, I had to put -P 888. It was just using the standard 22, just SSH in the name. And now you shouldn't get prompt for a password, which I did not. And as you can see, it did automatically go in. So now when you do SCP or Sierra Charlie Papa at the name, at the whatever DS is, it doesn't need to, it's not going to prompt you for a password. It's awesome, right? So we do this, we see, we notice we got anything in there. And we just do a -AL and see what we have there. And you see we have it, the SSH. I know it's a pretty piss poor color here, but it's right here. This is the SSH. So we're going to do a cd.ssh. Let's do an L, and there's the keys. Okay, so you really don't want to show anybody those keys, but there it is. So that's what that command. Where the hell is it? This command, right? This command right here generated keys, and then you copied it over. Where else is the copy command? Then this command here automatically copied the keys into this. So it's basically just moved the file over. So now we're ready to do an a copy right into this directory here. So let's just hit exit out of this for crap. Now you can see here we do have a where am I here? Oh, no. Let's go hit CD, brings you back to the top of your user directory. As you can see here, see I got a file here. I got kind of distracted here, so let's go ahead and start over again here. So we have a file called hardware.html that we're going to move over to the NAS drive, right? So we're going to use SCP to do it. So let's go ahead and split the screen here and log into the various servers. All right. Now, of course, I'm doing it the hard way where I can just SSH right into the NAS drive, but oh well. And we have nothing here. So we're going to SCP the file hardware into the NAS drive, and we're going to do that by typing SCP-P, then 48 the file, the username for the NAS drive, the IP address for the NAS drive, colon. And now we know that we need to know what a directory path is. So if you don't know what it is, just do pwd on the destination folder where you want to dump it, and then just copy this, put it up here, magic paste. Oh, Well, that should work, right? Nope. That's going to be no clue what the hell happened there, but let's just go ahead and do that. And so it failed, and why did that fail? Well, main reason is SSH versions. All right, so let's do SSH-V. You see you're running 10. Then let's do a SSH-B, and now you see you're running an 8. So basically, I guess the new SSH-10 here uses, or OpenSSH uses SFTP protocol by default for file transfer, which obviously is going to conflict on how the Synology DSM wants it. It wants SCP. So the workaround is to add a switch called the O flag, capital O, and that'll instruct the client, in this case, meaning in this server, the client, to fall back and use SCP, which I guess Synology wants to see. So we're going to go ahead and do the up arrow key, and then we're going to do the magic dash uppercase O. Now again, down in the description will be a link for all these commands. So just click the link, and then you can get all these commands here, and you can see now it moved it. We'll just do an ls-l, and we can see it there. So let's get rid of that. Okay. And now there's another way you can do this without using this -o command, is by, I guess Synology has the ability to, if you just use the home directory. In other words, we're going to do this. Well, we got to get rid of this. We'll get rid of that. All the way up here like this. Put the slash. Get rid of the -o. So basically what's going to happen here, Synology's smart enough to know that, hey, when an SCP request comes in and goes to the home directory, smart enough to know that, oh, I got to put it in the username, whatever username is in front of the network, and then put it into that user's directory. So let's do a ls receipt at it's empty. All right, now let's go ahead and go to end here. All right, and then we'll hit enter. And it looks like it did go, so we're going to hit the magic ls, and then there you have it. We have it. So the next step now is to delete that file because we don't need it. Is to set up the Rsync script, and at the same time, I'm going to move a large volume of files over that we can move over to the NAS drive too. So I'll be right back. I'll move some stuff over, and then we'll set up the script and set up the cron job, and we'll see if it works. All right, I'll be right back. So right here, just go over the script that we're going to use to be able to use Rsync to sync between the two servers. So as you see here, this has a bunch of stuff on here that I went through in the video. But now let's go to the script. So here we're going to create a file. You name it anything you want. I'm using VI here. And there's some other information here about the delete flag that I'm going to go through here in a minute. So the script, you basically just copy and paste this into your file that you created. So obviously, since this is bash, we have to put the bash up here. Then we have these various variables that we're going to use in the bash script. Source directory is a directory of where your data is, the NAS, your NAS drive, username, and then of course the IP address of the NAS drive or whatever device you're using to Rsync to. And then of course, where do you want to put your data on the destination file server or NAS drive or whatever. The port, now since I made this script here to use a port, you're going to have to put 22 in there. If you're using the default, just go ahead and stick it in there. In my case, it's going to be a bunch of 8s. Then the remote target here, this is taking a whole bunch of commands and making it into one line. So Rsync knows what to do. You can start it here. Now this delete thingy here, right, which up here I gave yourself a little warning here. The delete flag will delete all files. I'm going to read this for you. I guess you can tell. On the destination server to match what is on the local server. Meaning that if you have this delete server flag provisioned here, and you have 5 files on your origination server, and you have 10 files on the destination server, the delete flag will say, hey, match what's on the origination side. So therefore, it's going to delete files on the destination side. So if you have 5 files on the origination, it's going to delete everything and match what's on the source. So if you had 10 on the destination, it'll now you'll have 5 because it delete 5 that don't match on the origination. Hope that confuses you, because it sure as hell did me. So if you don't want to do that, you always want to keep your crap on the data on the destination side. And if you change your source side, you just have to remove this delete thingy here. Just remove all this and just move this slash here closer to there. And then you're ready to roll. Now here you see here with sometimes we might have problems with the SSHing and all that. So here I pounded out the -O. So if you have the problem that we ran in the beginning, just either delete this line and unpound this and get rid of the OR. But you guys can figure out what to do here. And then you have the rest here. It gives you some error messages if something doesn't work right. Then after you create the script, we have to make it executable. We have to make the shell script executable. And that's done by using chmod. Some people might use chmod plus X and then the file name. I'm doing 755 because it's based on base 8. All this great stuff. And here you can test your connections and stuff like that. So, then the next, after that, we want to create a cron job that will run this script at least once a day. In this case here, it's running it at the top of the hour at 3 a.m. And you can see where all my stuff is. All right, so you're going to first thing, of course, is we have to go into the, had to tell, where was I? So here's the cron job, and then so here I'm telling it, since it's a bash script, I'm telling it bash, where your bash is located. In this case, is /bin bash. You can just -C means just run everything after. Okay, and this here is just shoving it into a log called this, and it's going to be put in this directory here. And here's the script that we're running. The cron tab -E allows you to edit it when you first use the root. If you never modified any of your cron jobs, you might get a selection menu pop up and just pick the editor that you're familiar with, usually Nano and Vim and all other crap. And this is just lists out what jobs you've created in the tab here, the cron tab. Then I gave you some more information on the different the various values here. Just peruse this down here, and you can figure it out. Again, here's just explain everything again. So just read that if you're unsure. If not, then you're not. So again, all this crap here is going to be in a link below in the description. So just go down there and clicky, and maybe you'll get to this if I put the link in right. Then again, maybe I don't. So with that, let's go ahead and continue on. Continue on with getting this built up and test run. All right. So since I already made my executable here, right, by typing chmod 755 and then rsync. All right, so this is base 8, right? So 1 0 0 0. So 0 0 1 is 1. All ones is 8. All right, so let's go ahead and run it. We're gonna do our rsync. We're gonna run it. Okay, so now it's looks like it's going. We can see it by doing this. We can see you created a directory. Go into there, and it moves stuff over. So it moves stuff over. Oh. And of course, it's still going. All right. Yeah, it's all filling up. You can see it. It's going up. So that's going. It'll take a few minutes, and there we are completely done. There we go, and successfully did it. Now we should have a cron job somewhere. Let's go to this directory, And then there we should have, yep, there's a cron log. Let's go into the CD log, and we see that we have our cron jobs. You see ran. Roll, we can do a quick rsync here and see what shit's in there. And you can see when it was run recently. But you get the point. Let's just go back here, do an ls-l. See, this is the cron log that created, and I'm running a Python server. So that's the server log for that. That just automatically generated. So I'm running a Python server here on this. We'll just go ahead and look at the cron. Just list it out. The cron tab -L. Matter of fact, let's just get rid of this down here. There we go. So here is basically what you saw on the GitHub, but moved into a different directory. And this is the running a Python script that uses that server, Python server that I'm using here. Basically just goes in and grabs some PBX records, and then at 1 a.m. and then at 3 a.m. it rsyncs what is found to the NAS. That way I got a backup of it. So that's it basically in a nutshell. That's basically a simple way to back up what's on your Linux server, in this case here, using Rsync, and move it on over to one of your NAS drives or a file server. In my case, I'm on a Synology DS1522 Plus. That's what I'm using. I'm just using Rsync right over to it, and there you have it. Nothing more, nothing fancy. Simple as that, and it runs every day at 3 a.m. Another script runs at 1 a.m. and then the Rsync runs at 3 a.m. here. Again, just go to the link below, and you'll go to my GitHub site where you can get all the scripts that you need. And also, you always can do the magic, man. Let's see that works. Do a man on cron, and you can read to your heart's content. Let's see that. More boring stuff to read. Well, I hope everybody has a happy and wonderful day. Until the next video, have a good one.